What if I told you your home could become a battery? And no, I'm not talking about installing a pricey 8,000 euro lithium battery. I'm talking about using the floors, walls, and hot water you already have to store heat when electricity is super cheap. Okay, let's dive into this because we're about to see how a real 1950s home was transformed into a massive thermal battery.
So yeah, let's just start right there with that question. Forget about shelling out thousands for a new box on the wall. The solution to our future energy needs might literally be right under your feet and all around you.
And this is the number that makes it all real. 56 kilowatt hours. That's the incredible amount of thermal energy a single, totally ordinary house in the Netherlands was able to store. To put that into perspective for you, that's 4 times the capacity of a standard home battery pack.
Now, what's so cool about this is that we're not talking about some lab experiment. This is a real-world case study, a real family home where this technology has been quietly working for over a year.
So let me introduce you to Dave's house. It's a classic, detached home from 1954. It has an all-electric heat pump, a mix of floor heating and radiators, and a pretty standard solar panel setup. A family of 4 lives here. You know, it's a setup you could find just about anywhere, which is exactly what makes this so incredibly exciting.
So why is this so important right now? Well, there's a huge change coming down the pipe. In places like the Netherlands, the rules of the energy game are about to be completely rewritten, and that's going to make smart timing absolutely critical.
Here's the challenge in a nutshell. Right now, net metering means you get full credit for the solar power you send to the grid. But after 2027, that all changes. Big time. The value of the energy you export is just going to plummet.
And this really shows the core of the problem. You're going to be forced to sell your solar power for pennies during the day when you're making tons of it, but then you'll have to buy it back for top dollar in the evening when you actually need it. The question is, how do you bridge that gap?
And this is where the solution comes in. We shift from the problem to this. Well, this ingenious idea of turning the very structure of your house into a thermal battery. It works in 3 beautifully simple steps. Step 1, charge. When electricity is cheap or even free, like overnight or during peak sun, the system heats up the home structure and the water. Step 2, pause. As soon as energy prices spike, the heat pump just stops. And step 3, comfort. The heat that was stored is slowly released, keeping the indoor temperature perfectly stable. You don't notice a thing, but you can bet the grid does. So where is all this energy stored? Let's break it down, because this part is awesome. The concrete floor alone holds 26 kilowatt hours, acting like a giant preheated pizza stone. The walls and ceilings add another 10 kilowatt hours, kind of like the residual warmth from a castle wall. Even the radiators and pipes chip in 4 kilowatt hours, like a giant insulated mug. And the standard hot water tank? That's a huge thermos, holding almost 16 kilowatt hours.
You add it all up, and you get a staggering 55.7 kilowatt hours of total thermal storage. And I have to say it again, this is all done with 0 extra hardware. It's just using what's already there, but way, way smarter.
Okay, that's the theory. But what does this look like in practice on a real day? Let's walk through the data from both a winter day and a summer day to see this system in action.
Here we go, a cold winter day. In the early morning hours when power is dirt cheap at 2 cents a kilowatt hour, the system charges the house. Then, from 6 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m., the heat pump is just off. The stored warmth keeps everything comfortable. It even acts like a mini power plant, selling some solar power back to the grid in the afternoon. And most importantly, it completely skips that expensive evening peak. No buying power at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, not a chance.
And in the summer, the strategy is just as smart. The system uses all that free solar energy in the middle of the day to heat up the hot water for showers and dishes. Then the heat pump just rests for the rest of the day. The extra solar power isn't wasted. It's sold back to the grid during the early evening when prices are actually at a premium. It's a total win-win.
So after a full year of running this system, what are the results? This is the part that really matters, and the data is crystal clear. All of this was achieved without the family changing a single thing about their daily lives.
Just look at this. Before, the home was only using about 17% of its own solar power. With this smart system, that number triples to 51%. That is a huge jump in energy independence.
And because they're using more of their own power, they're sending much less back to the grid, almost half as much, in fact. That's a 46% reduction in exports, which is exactly what you want when the export price is so low. And here's the bottom line.
a 34% reduction in annual energy costs. That is a significant saving, and it's all just from software and smart timing.
Now, this is fantastic for one family, but what happens when we zoom out? Let's look at the potential impact if this approach were adopted on a national scale.
Imagine just 350,000 homes in the country using this technology. It's a completely achievable number. If each of those homes shifted just a small amount of their energy use away from that evening peak, the collective result would be a 1 gigawatt reduction in demand on the grid. That is a truly massive number.
And what does 1 gigawatt mean in the real world? It means you could shut down 2 entire gas-fired power plants. That's the power of collective, smart energy use, relieving grid congestion without building a single new power station.
And that really brings us right back to the core idea. The hardware, the storage, the potential, it's already there in millions of homes. The key is simply unlocking it with intelligent control.
This isn't science fiction. It's a practical, powerful solution that's already working today. It offers lower bills, higher self-consumption, and a more stable grid for everyone. This is the future of home energy. So the only question left is, are you ready for 2027?